Last year gave us what the fuck is a catch. Earlier this year, we wondered what roughing the passer was. Today, we have a new game to ponder. What the fuck is the NFL? I have lost all semblance of trying to understand the Shield. There's no point in trying to. Every time you try to figure it out, the league mutates into another form. There are 12 teams entering the playoff Thunderdome. How do they stack up? Andrew Luck, the withered husk of a man whose career had been destroyed by managerial incompetence, has been given new life. They can rebuild him. They can make him stronger, faster, better than he once was. He is the modern-day $6 million man, just with far more adamantium to ensure long-term survival. The team itself also given a second chance, going from 1-5 and horrific losses aplenty to winning 9 of 10 in relatively convincing fashion. Stunning revelations abound. The Colts have a legitimate offensive line. Eric Ebron isn't dropping everything in sight. Goddamn Santa Claus is their kicking wonder of the world. True, there are a shitload of injuries to deal with, and the defense boasts the fire of roughly 20 Darius Leonards. You know what they say about white-hot teams? They either burn everything in sight, or burn themselves. Isn't it wonderful to have a real management team again? Everyone's favorite mercenary squad once again gets the short end of the stick by means of their San Diego ways returning to haunt them. Instead of home field and a strong shot at revenge, their home base was raided and were repeatedly played like a fiddle. Why are they still here? Just to suffer? Every night I bet they can feel their leg, their arms, all of their fingers, the comrades they lost throughout the years. Phillip Rivers unfortunately can only father so many kids to feel the Diamond Dogs as they ready for more battles. On paper, this team has a strong shot of going to the Super Bowl. How many times have we said that over the past 15 years? Either Rivers falters in the big game, their kickers miss routine field goals, or they try to ford the river on the Oregon Trail but tip over and drown Abigail. If there's a year to prove us all wrong, this is it. Just don't get dysentery like every other time. It's almost as if every single shit poster and Ravens fan with vocal cords was right about the team. Taking out the mediocre Joe Flacco and his relentless checkdowns for anything resembling a quarterback with life will help fulfill their potential. Since Lamar Jackson has been put in on offense, they have something they've been lacking for years. An identity. An old-school punch-you-in-the-mouth run-heavy offense with modern-day flash and speed. Baltimore also hit the jackpot after years shopping at Goodwill for a running back in Gus Edwards, too. You can talk all you want about the idea that they're a fluke, that this style of play has a very short shelf life, that Lamar Jackson is going to be RG3'd soon. And you would be correct. But here's the thing. You only need 4 games. If their defense is as strong as they say, no one is going to remember a damn thing about the long-term future of the team. Congratulations, Bill O'Brien. You've been freed from the spit roast and are once again playing with another strong football team. Unfortunately, we can't say the same about your fan base, which is still trying to recover from many consecutive heart attacks throughout the season. Winning 9 straight is very impressive, but they never made it look easy. Always last-minute victories, always on climactic cliffhangers against all kinds of opponents. Can they do something with their propensity to give up enough sacks to feed an orphanage? Or will DeAndre Hopkins flash his brilliance and streak across the field repeatedly? Despite this run of form, you have a lot of doubters, Houston. Let's see if Deshaun Watson will take that next step to make all of us eat ridiculous amounts of shit. I know it's been predicted that New England's evil empire would end for years, but now we may be seeing it happen in real time. Despite the record in traditional first-round bye, the Patriots must get it done with possibly the weakest roster they've had in 15 years. Watching Tom Brady try to move is like seeing a boiler about to explode. Rob Gronkowski is a walking injury and hollow shell of his former self. Your big weapon in Josh Gordon relapsed thanks to his demons and is banished to the spirit realm. The offensive line far too undisciplined. And then there's the defense, still as questionable as ever and had been gashed several times this year. If they're going to get it done, it will be on the feet of Sonny Michel and Julian Edelman. Just hope that you don't have to go on the road this year. They've been pretty abysmal away from Gillette Stadium. This might be your last shot. Knowing everyone's luck, they're probably going to the Super Bowl again. Oh joy. Mr. Mahomes, may I congratulate you on your emergence as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Your next challenge is going to be carrying this Chiefs squad with your arm to any chance of playoff success. I mean, you've got some great weapons at wide receiver and tight end. Just don't ask for Kareem Hunt. He's not coming back anytime soon. And don't ask for any kind of help from your secondary either. They're still as much of a mess as they were last year. You also have the baggage and reputation of Full Reed and Bob Sutton to try and outmaneuver. What the hell does that mean to you? Nothing at all. Just figured I'd give you a warning before you went out there. The fans are desperate for a victory at Arrowhead after years of futility. Give this to them and you can have all the ketchup you desire. I know Super Bowl, but baby steps first. There comes a time when in every football fan's mind you sit and wonder if the league is potentially scripted. Yes, ridiculous proposition, but then you hear about the Eagles. A defending Super Bowl champion, they get sluggish and complacent thanks to the typical hangover after a banner year. There are some embarrassing moments. A blown fourth quarter lead to the Panthers, getting marched on by the Saints, a death blow by the goddamn Cowboys. Then an old friend returns from his 10-month hibernation to lead Philly to the promised land. Big Dick Nick. It doesn't matter that the Eagles' secondary is completely decimated. Injuries have destroyed many other facets of the team, and there are still many doubts. We said the same shit last year, and look what happened. The NFL world will be ready this time. May your Messiah lead you to glory. You know, when a team completely guts their legendary defense to the point of a rebuild and pisses off one of their better players, that's usually a sign that you don't make the playoffs. The Seahawks didn't get that message. There are a few holdovers like Bobby Wagner and Frank Clark, but most of these guys are novices, like the Griffin twins, Trey Flowers, Jaron Reed, young men who only want to make offenses' lives a living hell. That's also not getting into Russell Wilson, more than likely doing his best Aaron Rodgers impression and pulling ridiculous amounts of bullshit out of his ass. When in doubt, crush their spirits via the running game. This is a team with no expectations. And those are the teams that are the deadliest. Never doubt a hungry animal. Brace yourselves for the insufferable onslaught of smugness the size of Texas. The Cowboys are back in the playoffs. They will ignore certain realities, like the fact that they made it here only because the rest of their division shit themselves throughout the season, Dak Prescott is inconsistent as hell, and their offensive line has been dealing with injuries all year long. I will give them credit for a few things. Amari Cooper does add another element to their attack, and their defense is pretty damn sturdy. DeMarcus Lawrence is a beast. Even with feeding Zeke at least 50 times a game, the real piece that needs to perform is Dak. If he can put up at least a good performance or two, the Cowboys may end up winning their third playoff game since the mid-90s. All it's going to cost is at least 5 more years of the Clapmaster chewing gum incessantly on the sidelines. Is it worth that? We are living in a very strange world when the Chicago Bears are not the Millard Fillmore of the NFL and instead a legitimate Super Bowl contender. How did they get here? Well, there's that brilliant front seven, often emasculating offenses with elite talents like Khalil Mack. Thank Oakland for that one. There are unsung revelations like Eddie Jackson roaming around in the secondary. And there's also a real offense for the first time in years. No longer undone by retreads like John Fox and disasters like Mark Trestman, the Windy City has a new savior in Mitch Kissin-Titties. I still believe that this team has a lot of similarities to the 06 Bears. And like in Dallas, the key to success is in the quarterback. Trubisky has shown flashes of brilliance this season, but he's going to need to be more consistent to roll towards a glorious run of McCaskey tradition. The versatility of Tariq Cohen will not be enough. Could you imagine what that would feel like? Green Bay would be cringing its way into Lake Michigan. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the triumphant return of the greatest show on turf. Witness for yourself the wonders of this high-flying offense led by a ridiculous amount of star power and Todd Gurley running over everyone in sight. Hopefully he can get back to form after his knee injury. If not, then Aaron Donald will simply eat everyone alive. I don't mean hypothetically either, he probably will consume us all whole. There are a lot of big names to bask in the flash of LA, but will it be able to convert into a Super Bowl title? Many St. Louisians hope that Stan Kroenke will be forced to eat shit again, but there are still some questions. Can the secondary manage to hold up against quality opponents? Will the Rams team that crushed their rivals early in the season reemerge? The offense is going to lead the way, but the defensive playmakers need to step up. Then you may get your ring. When I was in New Orleans a few weeks ago, there were plenty of arrogant Saints fans roaming the streets. They have good reason to be. What they get to see is one of the most talented squads in their franchise's history. Drew Brees looking strong again, the two-headed monster of Ingram and Kamara not losing a beat, Michael Thomas feasting on secondaries throughout the land. Despite the assortment of goodies on offense, their defense is strange. A group that can outright dominate the run but overruled by the air. Some of it may have to do with a few of the pass-happy teams they play in their division, but giving up over 265 passing yards a game isn't the recipe for success. If the Saints expect to march in the French Quarter with Lombardi, they will need to tighten up, even in the Superdome. Or else the hand grenade next to them won't be the cocktail. The window is starting to close on Brees in New Orleans. Go out with a bang, won't ya? A year of what the fuck is the league is coming to a close with a very interesting playoff race. Who the hell am I going to jinx this time? This is a playoff bracket where I can say that anyone has a legit chance of making the Super Bowl, be it by means of momentum, talent, luck, or pure mythos. By my methods of calculation and pulling narratives out of my ass, fuck it. We can't have anything good in this league, so let's get the matchup no one but the suits want. Rams versus Chargers. The fight for LA as one terrible owner gets a trophy as a bitter city melts away into ash. You may all jump off of bridges now as New England will probably be making the Super Bowl again. The football gods will make sure of it.